Okay, so let's do a practice problem here with Hess's law. Now remember, with Hess's law, it's not overly challenging, but it is tedious. So make sure you're not skipping steps, right? Go through this step by step, do it correctly. All right, so here's my target reaction, and here are the four equations that I can use to get to this target reaction. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through my chemicals and make sure I've got everything I need. So I need some methane, some CH4. Why CH4 in this first reaction? All right. So even though this reaction is right here, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it the way I need it. So I need CH4 goes to carbon plus 2H2, and I flip that reaction. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my delta H sign, 74.8 kilojoules. Okay. So I've got my methane now. Now, next what I need some oxygen as a reactant. Okay. All right, so there's a couple options down here. I can use oxygen in a couple different spots. I've got oxygen in this reaction. I've got oxygen in this reaction. Okay. Well, this reaction also has carbon dioxide. Well, I also need some carbon dioxide. So I'm going to see if I can get away with just using this reaction first. Maybe not, but it's possible. So let's go ahead and try that one. So let's pull this one over here. So see some carbon solid plus O2 goes to carbon dioxide. I didn't flip my H there, so it's going to stay negative 393.5 kilojoules. Whoa. Let's see if I can find where my work was. Okay. All right, now I need 2 moles of oxygen, but I only need 1 mole of carbon dioxide. So if I multiply this by 2, then that would mess up how many moles of carbon dioxide I have. So I'm not going to multiply this one by 2, and I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, I've got my carbon dioxide taken care of. And let's see if oxygen, I might have to end up using this other reaction, or there might be another reaction that has oxygen in it as well. So what's the other thing that's left? So my oxygen's not done, but we'll revisit it. I also need 2 moles of water. Well, okay, so I've got some options down here for water. I need liquid water as well. Okay, so I need liquid water down here. So I'm going to go ahead and use equation 4 here. So it goes to H2O, liquid. This is H2O, gas. And I flipped that equation, so that's going to be a negative 44 kilojoules. Okay, I need 2 moles of that. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply this one by 2. So I'm going to say 2 there, times 2 there. So I've got my liquid water. Okay, I still don't have my oxygen though, so I'm going to have to use another equation. The other problem is, looking ahead a little bit, when I go to start canceling these out, this doesn't cancel out with anything on the other side. Well, if I look up here in my initial equation, I don't have gaseous water up here. So I've got to have that cancel out with something. Well, if I look here in the third equation, I've got gaseous water, and this third equation also has some oxygen, which I'm looking for as well. So let's see if this guy will help me out. So I got 2H2 gas plus O2 goes to 2 moles of H2O gas. I didn't flip anything, I didn't multiply anything. I'm going to go ahead and keep that negative 484 kilojoules. Okay, so let's see what I've got here. I've used all the equations. Let's make sure I've got 2 moles of O2 on the side. I've got 1 mole here. I've got another mole down here. So I think I've got all my chemicals that I need in my target equation. Let's go ahead and add them up and see if that happens to be the case. Oh, my signs were kind of not as lined up as what I normally like. All right, let's get canceling stuff out. So methane, CH4. I don't see any CH4 over there, so I'm going to go ahead and bring that down. It's carbon, 1 mole of carbon. I've got 1 mole of carbon over here, so those are going to go ahead and cancel out. I've got 2 moles of water in the gas phase. I've got 2 moles of water in the gas phase on the other side, so those are going to go ahead and cancel out. I've got 2 moles of hydrogen here And I've got 2 moles of hydrogen up here as a product, so those are going to go ahead and cancel out. All right, then all that I have left is 1 mole of oxygen, 2 moles of oxygen, no moles of oxygen over here, so I'm going to bring those down, plus 2O2, goes to carbon dioxide, plus 2 moles of liquid water. Does my target equation match? Yes. So since I can view this reaction as a summation or a combination of all of these different reactions, then I'm going to go ahead and add up my delta H's here as well. And when I do that, put that in my calculator here, I come up with a negative 890 kilojoules. So there's my reaction, or my change in enthalpy. So remember, with Hess's law, it's not difficult. Just make sure you don't skip steps. You know, instead of just trying to multiply stuff over here, or just say, hey, I'm flipping this one over here, go ahead and rewrite the reaction, right? Instead of saying, oh, you know what, this one I just really need to reverse it here, so I'm going to do a positive there. Go ahead and rewrite that reaction over here with the products, the reactants as a reactant, or if the products need to be a product. Okay, don't skip that shortcut.